Scene 16, take 2.
Hold
A
it
and B,
steady.
common mark.
I got nothing down here.
Oh. Or here.
As much fun as it is to make an Aliens Ate My Homework movie, it does come with a very unique and specific set of challenges. A big part is the prosthetic makeup work in order for us to have these alien creatures on set every day. Our mandate is always to create and bring characters to life on set where our young actors can interact with them. So just like in the first movie, everything was designed and everything was built practical.
It's part of our job to create cool creatures, but you need a really awesome person to make that creature come to life. That really goes into Alex Zahara, Dan Payne, Tristan Risk, and Ty. They really do a fantastic job in it. You almost see a transformation in Dan from point 1 to when he's Gracker.
The makeup part of becoming Gracker, for me it was a bald cap, get rid of the hair, and then a cowl, and then a face piece, and then a chin piece, and then a lip piece, and then paint. Immaculate attention to detail. It comes to life as you sit there over the course of 4 hours. Once I look through the mirror, what's looking back at me, it starts to inform me. Because I start making faces in the mirror and I see how it works, and I'm like, oh, there's the gruff, and oh, there's the goofy. And those are all aspects in me, but it gets to translate through this phenomenal, perfect makeup. It's a huge aspect of the movie magic.
Very long days for them. Dan's a 5-hour makeup, and then they go and act all day, and then they need to do the removal. So it's about a 2-hour removal, and then the day's done after 16, 18 hours.
Our day would start normally around 3:30 in the morning. They had originally fitted me for a cowl or a skull cap, and the eyes would stick in there, the animatronic eyes. So we had to start by getting all these wires and everything down here to a battery box in the back. Then they would put the cowl on, which is this big, huge foam rubber thing with big neck and muscular, and I really, imagine I couldn't move. Once it was on, I really couldn't turn my head, so I had to stay looking forward all day, because my eyes were supposed to be the ones looking around. All I could see was like just tiny little slits. Then they would paint and seal it all up and make sure you couldn't see any seams, and then we would get dressed with my 4-leg costume with my 6-inch high boots, but as soon as that makeup goes on, I'm a new creature. It was the most physically challenging job I've ever had to do.
When you see those characters walking out of here, they really do come to life.
Welcome to Earth. Weird planet.
Every time I've been on a show that has young actors and puppets, I always find it very exciting to watch the kids' reaction when they first see these people coming in full makeup.
They're
Aliens, that's right.
The ones we told you about.
Sort of.
2 years ago, remember? That wasn't a joke?
And so I think it's a lot more fun, and it makes it more believable and easier for them to act along with them.
That's the magic we were always striving for. Exciting and memorable, and that's a testament to the commitment of our actors and the talents of makeup effects people at Masters Effects who really bring these characters to life.
It was so cool because you never really see that type of makeup on set. Typically, if they were gonna add aliens in, they would either be animated in or they're just not done very well, but these look fantastic.
It's kind of surreal, actually. Gracker, I gotta say, is a lot bigger in person. Dan Payne is huge. He is definitely a fighter, a big blue fighter.
Phil and Plank definitely got an upgrade. Kind of got a new hair job as well. Beautiful eyelashes.
Inside, he has a servo, which is a small machine which just turns back and forth with a radio controller. So you push it, eye closes, you let it go, and it pulls it back and opens it back up. Blink, blink.
With Phil, we ended up just refurbing his costume. I mean, he's a plant, so in our head it kind of worked that as plant life does, they change over the years.
For the first movie, they did a full body cast of me in the position that we figured I would be puppeteering. From there, we fabricated the suit, and then we sculpted individual pieces for details like the leaves. So those are actually feathers that somebody hand laid on each of those petals. And finally, the paint job was improved on it. It kind of gives it a bit more character, I think. Every creature that we build is always a new challenge. It's totally pitch black in there, so I usually have a little headlamp on. You can't get air in there, so I have to have a little breathing mask on. So everything is pretty much crammed in there.
The plant's a plant? No!
You got one right, smarty plants.
I told you he couldn't handle it. This is... It's okay. You can say it. This is so cool!
As far as Tara Gibbons goes, I have to control his eyes and work off of what the actor Alex Zahara is doing. That can be tricky in its own right, because I have to have his eyes follow his gaze, doing some fun things like if he tips his head back, maybe the eyes fly back. Someone tries to touch him, they spread apart. Really having fun with the character.
Between Jay and I, we create the character together. His puppeteering totally brings the character to life because life is in the eyes, and well, he's my eyes.
Whenever you make a new Aliens Ain't My Homework movie, you gotta add new creatures, of course. We have Lackey.
We have a great comedic duo with Bakar and Lackey.
I'm your worst daydream!
Nightmare! Really? Huh? How many times?
Billy Becker's new sidekick, Lackey, is probably the coolest dude I've ever met. He gets on my nerves all the time, but I absolutely love him.
Lackey hates the leader supreme. Lackey do this. Lackey do that. Lackey need a vacation.
The Lackey bug head is quite hefty. Travis, who plays Lackey, has to wear that during all these scenes, which actually have some action components.
One of the many things I loved about this script is the sci-fi aspect of it, and I love that world because you're just letting your mind go crazy. My past is working with Stargate on all 3 of their franchises. On this show, from a kid's perspective, it was even more fun to get in there, upholding the tradition and the standards of true sci-fi. Lackey was a really interesting character because he is a bug. He's a little bit beaten down. We made him a little off-center in the way that he walks, so we sort of made him a mishmash of things that he's maybe collected in his travels.
Prisoners, surrender.
Identify yourself.
Ali Bung, Mentat Chief of Security.
Arlie Bung is one of my favorite characters, and it's hard to choose a favorite on this show. I love the idea of her being amphibious. I found this incredible fabric that's iridescent but looks like fish scales, and we made her a full outfit, head to toe of that. We worked with props. They found this fantastic backpack that we had tubing going from our costume over this piece of armor that we built for her, and it went into the backpack, and it looks like it's lit up, and it looks like, you know, there's bubbles. It kind of moved and flowed, and working with the cast member Christina, the way that she moves, everything kind of looks like it's moving in water, I think, when you see her.
All uninvited entities must halt. State your business.
I am Captain Gracker of the Galactic Patrol, and I state that you state your authority to ask me to state my business before you state yours.
I am playing the personification of all our irritation. She is a very frustrated being.
Raise your manipulatory appendages. There's an all-quadrant alert about you, Ferkel renegade. I'm locking you up.
Just imagine being out of your element infinitely, and I can't imagine that her apparatus is very comfortable just to breathe in. Everything about that costume that bothered me added to the character. The fact I couldn't breathe properly, the fact it was just slowly over time the moisture would build up, so I couldn't see, the fact I couldn't hear, and to have to contain all that emotion and make sure it all went into the eyes, because there was nothing else to lean on, because the costume took it away.
There's no way out for you.
Children have an ability to understand and sympathize with the misunderstood. They understand what it's like to not fit in.
Someone has to do something. The galaxy is a hot mess.
That's who this character is in this movie. Always slightly detached. Everybody, no matter how long the day was, so kind. And everyone in the cast is working together, and that is so beautiful to see. You could tell people were in it for the art of it, they're in it for the story. It's just being part of something so cool. It was fun to make. It's gonna be even more fun to watch.